The girl was supposed to disappear inside a private club, but the man who came to save her looked like he had accepted death. The kidnappers were on the floor. The girl was barely conscious, shaking in a gray shirt. His bodyguard begged him to leave, but he refused. He said she was the only reason he kept living. Then he ordered his men to take her away, while he stayed to face danger. The next second, he opened his eyes in a classroom. The black suit was gone. The power was gone. On the wall, the calendar showed 2021. He was back in high school, back in the year he had wasted, back before the girl's life was destroyed. Now he was not the feared man everyone obeyed. He was just a lazy student, a troublemaker, the boy every teacher had given up on. When he rushed to the office and begged for another chance, even the teacher thought he was dreaming. But he knew this was real. In his past life, he had watched the girl fall into darkness, and only understood too late that she was his reason to live. This time, he would not be late again. He returned to class under mocking eyes. The classmates thought he would still skip lessons and fight. The bullies thought he was easy to provoke. Even the girl looked at him like he had become a stranger. But he opened the textbook, picked up the pen, and did the work he had ignored. Soon, the first test came. The teacher expected him to embarrass himself. The whole class waited to laugh. But he solved a hard math problem in front of the girl. She froze. The boy who never studied was suddenly serious. The boy everyone called useless was trying to change his fate. But changing himself was not enough. The bully who had humiliated the girl came again. He blocked him on the rooftop and acted like the school belonged to him. Everyone thought a fight would break out. However, the boy stepped closer and warned him to stay away from her. From then on, he studied with her, protected her in silence, and forced himself to catch up. The teacher changed from disbelief to surprise. Even the classmates realized something was wrong. This boy was no longer the same person. Then the school music event arrived. Each class needed a performance, and no one expected him on stage with a guitar. But when he started singing, the girl froze again. The reckless boy in her memory looked bright and calm. For the first time, she smiled at him. On the trip, he sat behind her on the bus and teased her into joining his band. She pretended not to care, but her eyes softened. For a moment, it seemed like the new life was working. Maybe this time, the ending could be different. But danger had not disappeared. It had only arrived earlier. At the rest stop, men surrounded the bus. The teacher tried to stop them, but one thug shouted that even if the police came, he would kill the girl first. Her classmates panicked. The girl was grabbed in front of everyone, and the boy's face turned cold. In his past life, he had been too late. This time, he ran after them. The gang hid the girl in an abandoned cabin beside a dying fire. She tried to stay awake, but fear and exhaustion were crushing her. Just then, the door opened. The boy stepped in with no bodyguards, no power, only the memory of the future in his eyes. He untied her and told her not to be afraid. For a second, she thought she was safe. But before they could escape, she suddenly collapsed in his arms. And outside the cabin, the kidnapper's footsteps stopped at the door.